Welcome, everyone. This is Pilot Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin,
Hi!
Sanswinda,
Hello.
Quarendus,
Hello, everyone.
Arendus,
Hey, everybody.
and Calabathian.
Sir, hello.
Let's get into this week's news, which is Update 28 has another Bulwer build, build number 3. And there are a few more things in here. They actually had Tier 4 of the raid available for preview, which was a surprise to me. I didn't think they usually would have.
Why would they preview like the really high tier before previewing the rest of the tiers?
The other tiers were also available.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why Tier 4 was available in this one, because I would think there were a couple other changes, but I can't remember what they were. Because they used to have, usually they have them shown in a different color here, but it looks like they went back to the normal color this time around. So I forgot what they changed in there. Nothing significant, because they're just doing these little tweaks here and there and getting things ready. So it looks like we're getting pretty close to the release point. Now they
were hoping for end of October, weren't they?
Yes, they are shooting to have it out by the end of October. And I would presume that the very latest, they want it out in time for the start of the Fall Festival, which is scheduled to be near the end of October. So we'll see how close they get on that matter. But yes, they are getting closer and closer to bringing out the War of the Three Peaks. I expect that maybe in about 10 days will be my forecast for that. I don't know what anyone else says. So I'm going to guess on the 20th with the 27th as a fallback date. Well, we'll see how close that prediction is. But there has not been any announcement or anything like that about something coming up this week. Also,
is it available for purchase yet?
Oh no, it's not going to be available for purchase until it's released. There's not going to be a pre-sale. I know, that's a surprise.
It's weird.
I know we were all I think until they announce it. By the way, we are going to have an expansion, and there's not going to be any pre-orders with it. We were going, huh? Where did this come from? But yes, no pre-orders on this particular one. All we know is that they're wanting to get it out by the end of October. It is currently October. We've had 3 Bulwer builds. And I presume that anyone who has any complaints on what the latest Bulwer build is posted some either bug reports or posted things on the forum appropriately.
Okay, I opened this up and it had War of the Three Peaks, but my first glance at it, I thought it, because we had been talking about it before, was War of the Three Pigs.
That's a totally different story.
Yeah. All right.
You have to decide whether you're going to be on Team Brick, Team Straw, Team Wood.
None of the above. I'm on Team Wolf.
Oh, boy.
I just glanced at it and I was like, I know what that's supposed to be. So why did my eyes say that? Oh, hey, that's pigs. No, it's not. I do like the guide to the Isengard Tavern. I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Debs.
Oh, yeah, that's an old joke.
Very old one. I don't know when they first named it that, because it's been named it probably as long as it's been Bulwer.
Probably.
Yeah, see, I didn't know it was there, so this is brand new to me. So let me just kind of enjoy my introduction into something that y'all are like, whatever. That's like an old joke. So it's calling a skinny kid a stick bug, but when it happened in the middle of my class last week, I still was a little bit dead 6 hours later because of it.
Sam in the chat says the 3 pigs fight over who's having the best pair of pants.
Your reward is, of course, because you get pig pants. They must be rangers.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that what Middle Earth reality TV is? Like fashion wars for pigs?
So are you saying that the Rangers are in the middle of a fashion war too? That's why they hand us their pants all the time?
These are so last season, darling. I've got mud all over them. These are yours now.
I always figured they're like a bad boyfriend. They're just giving it to you because you're hoping you'd wash it for them.
Ranger I for the adventurer guy.
Let's then head on to our store sales because we have no beacon this week. So what's on sale this week?
Not lots. They brought back the 10 sturdy steel key bundles in the store through October 18th. Yay. I have chests filtered out, so I don't get them, so I don't need keys. And 30% off stat tomes, regen food, run speed boost, attack damage boost, all the stuff that drops out of your Hobbit presents, now through October 15th. And our weekly coupon is a universal ingredient pack ×1. Yay. Also through October 15th. It's like the sale of all of the stuff that we can't put anything else in. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. This is Cordovin's out.
Your LOTRO points, peoples.
Yeah. Cordovin's out this week, so they decided let's put on the worst sale possible so we don't have to put it into the beacon.
Yeah.
Okay, could somebody remind me what the sturdy steel keys are for? Because aren't we supposed to have
They're-
the black steel
For
keys?
opening...
They're for opening the old boxes.
Yeah, they're for opening the old boxes.
So if you don't have the old boxes?
It's for those of us who have old boxes.
Market still, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, I've got some sturdy steel keys, but I literally have nothing to use them on. So I've just been like, oh, hey, sturdy keys. I can't do anything with because I don't go to Lalia's. Never going to Lalia's. Toss. It's...
Well, they're not available for Mithril, at least. She had some so that you could use up your sturdy steel keys because they're phasing them out. So she has the boxes that you can buy for like a couple silver or something.
Oh,
they're cheap.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Luanori Stout Shield says that it is actually a misprint in the apparently in the announcement.
A black steel key bundle.
That's more useful.
For sure.
But again, I don't have loot boxes, so I don't need them.
Yeah, that's why I'd say, look at that. Cordovin's not there this week, and there's nobody there to put the right sale announcement up.
They don't care. No one's going to use this sale anyway, so it's just a throwaway.
I mean, I'm sure some people are using it, but
I'm sure somebody out there's
plenty of people who
I've been
spend
waiting for
money on
sturdy
these
steel keys.
Yeah. Black steel keys. There's people who use them. There's people who like the stuff that comes out of loot boxes. I am not one of them. Ever since they decided that keys were only going to be purchasable, like they didn't drop anymore, I decided, okay, I don't need any more loot boxes. So I filter the loot boxes across the account.
And you're not really missing anything.
No, I'm really not.
Yes. Mary Rose Morning Song says, I don't like the new loot boxes. When opened, my eyes hurt at the sparkle effect, so they filtered out for me.
I've never seen a sparkly thing. It's just because I open them and then like the message box pops up like what you're getting or whatever, and I'm just like whatever. I don't know. They just have never had sparkles.
Ching!
Lucky,
Da-da-da!
you've got sparkle. Yeah.
I hear that multiple
Ching!
times in the Brie crafting hall when I'm in there.
Yes. I guess I have to look that up the next time I have a new character that gets to a point of having one of those loot boxes. Since unless they're only highest level ones, then I have to have a character that is willing to wait until I get the level cap before using those 3s that you get when you start a new character.
Yeah, I think I've still got mine. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
I opened one recently and I think I know what the sparkle effect is. It's just kind of a little flash that happens from the middle of the screen. And I don't
Okay.
think it's not on the highest level characters or anything. So it's just an effect, kind of like to go with the sound effect.
By the time you become
Okay.
130, you've seen it so many times you no longer even notice it, so they don't bother putting it on there. It's not new anymore. It's not fabulous. It's just here's your dang box. Open it. But when you're new and fresh, it's like, ooh, sparkly. Here's a gift.
Let's head into the site news where we have another article by Squirrel for the long lost quest packs number 3, Corsairs Everywhere. So that means that this week's long lost quest pack is brought to us by Jajax.
I guess.
Promises. Never gonna see that boy again. Sailed off with his brother. Never came back.
Well,
Just like a pirate man.
yeah, he couldn't
Girlfriend in
even
every
come to
port.
the wedding.
We couldn't sneak him in either.
Yes.
I feel like that was short-sighted of somebody to not have him at the wedding. Clearly, Aragorn's people did not get the memo about how helpful he was and how well he blends in.
Yeah, well,
He was obviously blending in very well.
We were threatened with the heirs of Castamere again, though. So there's always, the to be continued part of the story.
Jax is the true heir of Castamere.
That would be hilarious, actually.
5 and 5.
He's like,
I have a friend who swears that that's coming. that Jax's real purpose was to get rid of all of his competition so that he could return as the true heir of Castamere. Which admittedly is kind of a cool prospect to think about, but they're probably not going to do it.
Oh well. We'll have to see. But Squirrel then goes into the Western Gondor, Central Gondor, and Eastern Gondor areas, which of course all came out during that time period when we didn't have any expansions. So there was a bit of a hiatus on expansions back in those days, so they came out all as quest packs, despite the fact that we had a few level bumps during the process. Thus, we go from the Corsairs to a haunted hag.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, you call it a haunted hag?"
No,
I realized that was the first pick of the week. I was like,
normally,
just keep writing? I mean,
no, normally we would have had Harvest Math already, but since it's been delayed because they're working on an update and they want the update to come out before Harvest Math arrives, Cosmetic LOTRO posted a new post for the Old Hag's Cabin, which is showing off her little cabin in Bree that she's decorated as a haunted house because her more rustic cabin has been relocated to Rohan because Rohan has really cool housing. And of course the outfit to go with it, which is awesome.
Whee!
I gotta find these pieces. They're great.
Yes, quite interesting. I'm looking at it. Oh boy, it's quite an interesting set of items on top of not just the cosmetics, but also the decorations.
Yeah.
I'm saying uh-oh because the chest is dyed with the festival dye.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I will never duplicate the outfit exactly because I don't use festival dyes, but aside from that, it's really cool.
Well, yes, but I'm sure that Terry Adwin could easily find a good substitute color to use for that. And that is our cosmetic LOTRO for this week. Let's head into sort of our new player information, where we have a little thing from Fibro Jedi for Fibro Jedi's Guide to Outfitting for Beginners.
Yeah, I saw this on Twitter. Fibro posted it. I believe it was earlier today or late yesterday. It's just a really good guide on how to kind of get into LOTRO outfits. There are a lot of really good and really helpful screenshots. He describes how to use the wardrobe and what some of the differences are between VIP and not VIP. And also has a bunch of links to other LOTRO cosmetic blogs, so including Cosmetic LOTRO, and then there's a couple more listed below, some of which I've frequented for a little while just because they do all of them do such a great job on creating really cool looking outfits. So it's pretty helpful. I would recommend checking it out.
And is this so easy that even Pine Leaf can understand it?
I think so, Pine Leaf. I think you got this.
It's actually a really great guide.
And he's talking about with or without a wardrobe.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have the actual wardrobe. It'd be like free to play people could use this easily.
Okay, that's good because I forget that not everybody has the wardrobe available.
Yep, and he also talks about the differences between equipment showing and not showing and that sort of stuff too. Sorry, Pine Leaf, go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just going to be saying that then again, some people have so many cosmetics, then the wardrobe, they have to supplement the wardrobe anyway.
That's why I have a master of wardrobe for my household who holds all of the cosmetic, the festival type ones and things like that, the ones that aren't bound to a character. They all the tabs on their vault just have head, shoulders, chest.
Yeah, I have 3. Because you run out. Well, especially because when I first started playing, I didn't really know lots about cosmetics, and you didn't have cosmetic weapons and shields at all. That's actually a fairly recent addition to the game. So there's a lot of stuff even now that I'm still finding that I missed back when I was first going through. That's why that's why it can usually take a while to go through all of my bag space when I'm going through an older area, especially that drops so much stuff on you. Angmar is particularly bad about this kind of thing. Like, if you go through the Angmar instances, you will end up with full bags. It doesn't matter how empty your bags are when you start, you will end up with full bags because you get not just the task stuff, but you get all kinds of gear dropping from these instances, which isn't good for gear anymore, really. Even at the level that you run it at, like if you run it at the level 50 instance at level, it's still kind of crappy gear for that level. But a lot of the weapon appearances in particular are really great for the Karndoom and Uragarth instances. So yes, I have. So you have head, shoulders, chest, head, shoulders, upper body, lower body, feet and hands, and cloaks, and then you have the weapons. So you have got swords, shields, swords, shields, bows, daggers, axes, one-handed, two-handed.
So many bows.
I have a spare hunter who actually collects all of the bows. Like she's got an extra vault space just for extra bows. And so I've got a couple of other characters whose particular purpose is just to collect a specific type of weapon. So like Other Champion, in addition to being my cooking slave, is also my two-handed sword collector, because when I made him, it was to learn how to tank on a champion with a two-handed sword. That's why he's my Other Champion, because he originally was just going to be the Other Champion. Now I have way more champions, but he's still Other Champion, and yeah, he still runs with it. He's the only one who runs with a two-handed weapon, actually, for my champions. Everybody else runs dual wielding, but Other Champion is two-handed, which is why his farming cooking outfit features the pickaxe or pitchfork. He's a farm boy with a pitchfork. And I apologize, Gwere, because I cut you off and I didn't mean to. So if you still remember what you were going to say, please feel free.
I have no clue anymore.
Yes. Anyway, Luminori Style Shield said, some people have all 320 wardrobe slots unlocked and still don't have enough.
That's true.
Some people who will remain nameless have that happening, because I've heard them discussing it before. Not me. I don't have 320 unlocked, but other individuals.
I'm at 230.
Sans?
What? How many wardrobe slots I have?
Yeah?
I have no idea.
I don't think Sans is at cap.
I don't know.
I'm the one that has that problem.
Yeah, Gwere is the one at cap, I'm pretty sure.
You need to look good.
I need more.
Kicking
but...
enemy
tuchus.
Tuchus.
Piece of advice that I like to give people, because I try to follow it, is to, if you have limited space in the wardrobe, I got this tip from Cosmetic LOTRO. Try to limit your actual stuff in the wardrobe to pieces that you're going to use regularly. So like your accent pieces, your shoulders, your hands, your gloves, shoulders, gloves, boots, some headpieces, sometimes a cloak will be really popular across all of your alts, because for me, I don't generally like to use the same chest pieces on all of my alts. So I will typically not put upper body stuff in the wardrobe unless I absolutely have to. I mean, there's a fair amount in there, but the bulk of my wardrobe is actually like shoulders, feet, hands, some back items. Not a lot of back items, weirdly, because I don't actually use a lot of cloaks. And when I do use them, I'll put them in there for one-use purposes and then pull them back out. I actually have a handful of weapons, and I have the giant flower in my wardrobe because somebody loaned it to me so that I could put it in the wardrobe, and I have used it on exactly one alt. But it's still in there because I don't dare take it out because I don't still have the physical copy. As long as you have the physical copy, you can always pull stuff out of the wardrobe.
I really want one now because Zot needs to have one for each hand and go dancing at the pony. I saw another stat axe do it earlier this week. It was hilarious. Yes. It was hilarious. And then they spun and jumped afterwards. It was great.
That is great.
Sam does want to make the note that pants are often invisible in the outfits, so maybe not worry so much about those.
That is also true. A lot of the upper body outfits cover both chest and lower body, so I don't have a lot of pants in my wardrobe either.
I think I have 2 pairs.
I have more than that, but it's not lots.
Just because they're ones that look good if a character's wearing a chest and then a top that doesn't cover, and then pants. They look good that way.
Weirdly,
for Celeborn.
Weirdly, I do have the starting outfits, the full starting outfit for both Minstrel and Burglar in my wardrobe. Because all of my Minstrels and all of my Burglars initially outfit their starter outfits because the gear that they give you is yucky. And actually, the Burglar starting outfit is pretty nice. Especially the well, the men and hobbits start with the same thing for burglars, but the minstrel, the man outfit for the minstrel is actually really nice.
And with that, we have to note that there is no little trip from our Berg because he needs a lot of rest after all that weird stuff with those hobbits and turtles. So he just needs a
All
rest
that
this week.
turtling.
Yes. And that he be nice and refreshed for when he goes out and
Refreshed. He's probably drunk in the pony right now.
I was considering that. But yeah, we
He
still
probably
have
gets
a
a
day
late
to go
start.
before I
He
can
probably
have
gets a
him.
late start the next morning because of the hangover.
Yeah. Hey, I could do that. He's like, this has been a day. I think I'm just going to drown my sorrows and
They have a full
With a-
Mary candle at the pony.
Just silver
Yeah.
and 50 copper.
which does I'll say this much in the next chapter that does get brought up again.
How much food and drink can you even get with a silver and 50 copper? We should look that up.
I'll have to tonight.
Let's head into our weekend Lotro. Terry Edwin, what were you up to?
Not a lot, but I actually did get some stuff accomplished this week. I led our rejects, aka the Rudolph group, through the water wing of Fornos, and that was kind of interesting. Sans and I discovered that we have very different definitions of pull all of the things, because I meant to pull, the various groups one at a time, and she thought I meant, no, really, go pull everything. So yeah, we had a wipe, and then we straightened out what we were doing. We actually managed to successfully escort Sarah Oakart. There was some debate on whether we were going to actually do it, but then I pointed out that you get access to extra skeletons when you do that, so we went ahead and did it. It wasn't actually nearly as painful as it normally is, possibly because we had a Runekeeper with a Zappy Rock running with us, so it's great. You can run into that group and you can plunk the rock down and then zap, everything freezes, and then you can just kill it all.
Okay, I know what my Runekeeper's gonna call his light. It's gonna be Zappy Rock.
Zappy Rock?
Zappy Rock.
And then, speaking of Runekeepers, I got out my High Elf Runekeeper to get some leveling accomplished since it's VIP weekend. I forgot to mention during the sales, it's VIP weekend. Which is great. She shot up like 5 levels. Yeah. It's like, okay. I think we're ready to be done here. But yeah, she's actually the Runekeeper that I made specifically to learn how to play Yellow Line. I haven't really run her too much. I've actually been learning Yellow Line with my Arkenstone Runekeeper, and it still kind of weirds me out to play Yellow on that Runekeeper, because that Runekeeper shares the name with my regular elf Runekeeper on Landreval, who learned as a fire/healing Runekeeper, mostly healing Runekeeper. So it's still weird for me to learn the Yellow Line because A, you don't have inductions, but B, you have to be a lot closer to the action than you do standing still waiting for your inductions to fire as a fire Runekeeper. So, and whereas my High Elf Runekeeper doesn't kind of have that mentality of wanting to stay out of the thick of things, possibly because she's her companion to run with as a champion, who also has to be kind of in the middle of stuff. So they're just right there together. He's swinging his swords and she's zapping things. I've discovered I really like the animation for, I forget the name of the skill, but it's one of the skills, and the animation for it is I'm going to zap you, but it's so powerful I can't even look. I have to turn my face to the side. It cracks me up every time I do it. And that's pretty much all I got accomplished. So, Calabathian, how about you?
Well, one thing I did not get accomplished was my chapter. We know this. But, Karak is actually the cousin. He's the RK cousin, Stout Axe Dwarf of another member of our group, that RK Stout Axe, who happens to be named Zot. Their last name, by the way, is Boom. So there's Zot Boom and Karak Boom. But he ran into the Forsaken on girls. There was goonying and much sir going on. So that is actually, I think what you guys say it was on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Twitch.
It is on Twitch, so feel free to enjoy yourselves. Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead and say that again.
I believe it's twitch.tv/Girls of Middle Earth.
But yeah, you guys feel free to enjoy yourselves when we get to the end and are trying to do our thing, because at one point I'm the only one left alive and it gets kind of silly.
Kind of.
Hilarious, you mean? Hilarious.
I also took my high elf champion. By the way, his name is Cassowary. Yes, it's not spelled cassowary, but it is the closest pronunciation to cassowary I could find. He's my high elf champion. I took him out and about with Terry's high elf RK, and realized that with his white hair and everything from behind, he does remind me, as he champions about, as Geralt from The Witcher. So I will never be able to get that out of my head now every time I play him.
He's also ridiculously pretty, just like Geralt.
Yeah, at one point she was like surrounded by these enemies, and he kind of ran up the stairs and went whack whack, and like they died, and it was very chivalrous and yeah, just nice. I was like, hey, you're trying to impress your friend. Then again, he's been asleep for 3,000 years. He should have some energy. You would think. My Arkenstone version of Calabathian is a champion, and she was stabbing things and running down hills during the academy, around Ostfarod and that area. And I believe we found one of the many areas that probably are named something around the lines of Sanswinda's Falls. Because at one point we were like, let's just jump off the side here. It's the easiest way. And, we could easily see Sans doing that. And we probably would have physically seen Sans doing that, but she could not make it that evening. So, that was my week, in amongst all the rest of the stuff that was going on offline that kind of made me want to stab things. But I didn't. I just stabbed them on the game. Go red. Okay, you. Hi. How was your week? Hi, how was your week? Just start talking, okay? Because I apparently don't know how anymore.
Words are hard.
Words are hard, and I'm an English major. I know how hard they are.
So my guardian is now level 41 and holding, so that she can finish off Even Dim and get to questing well into the Troll Shaws before she pulls the Turtle Stone back out again. And I'm kind of impressed because I started maybe a month ago. What?
What is she holding?
Her level.
A turtle stone
in her pocket.
Are you sure it's not a turtle?
Well, looks like a little tiny one. Some guy in Bree was giving them out.
It's a tiny turtle. Was there a hobbit giving them out named Taylor?
I'll have to ask her.
Okay. Okay, continue.
My Hobbit Hunter has struck against Denninglor for the first time. Did the skirmish the first time and got a few of the named mobs for the deed out of the way, and has made it from the Haunted Inn through the Drownholt to Oscalith and got a couple of new titles. Because once you get there, of course, you have to get Master of Cinder, don't you know? And she also got the Cake Eater title because she was trying to get rid of stuff in her bag and refused to get rid of the Limbus until she got that title. And I too participated in a very bad fun idea on the girls' stream. My first time tanking was glorious. I do highly suggest that if anybody needs a laugh, that they watch the stream because it was a thing of beauty. Sansvinda, what did you get up to this week?
Well, I had a very bad idea that turned out to be pretty fun for running the End of the Forsaken on girls, because Gwyn mentioned it, and I was like, "Oh, brilliant plan!" And then we're like, "Maybe not actually brilliant, but it'd be fun."
I didn't mention doing it. I said I was going to get it out of the ring out from his head by just popping in there while you were doing your class quest.
I know.
Whoops.
It wasn't supposed to lead to that, but it was pretty cool. And then I made a guardian on Bull Roar to practice pulling mobs. And I mean, maybe at level 130 isn't really the best way to practice this, but I started learning to play it with Maven and Nitesh, and they're like, yeah, pull as many mobs as you want. So I tried to see how many mobs I could pull and stay alive, and amazingly, I did not die from pulling mobs. There were a couple of close calls when I went around a few corners and they couldn't find me. But yeah, Maven was on a Runekeeper, and Nitesh was running a Hunter, and for most of the time, and that was pretty cool. And then he got his Guardian out to show me some tricks. So, but it helped because he just told me like which skills to use. When I got into a quandary and was like, I don't know what to do now. And he's like, oh yeah, like try this, and that helped. So I've been working on my Guardian skills. And I started leveling a new Dwarf Hunter after running End of the Forsaken on girls because I want to be able to run it at tier 2. And we need one of each class. So, that was my week. How was your week, Arindis?
My week was all right. A little bit light due to a couple of different factors. I mostly just did some questing around the East Wall. The most exciting thing that happened this week was getting some indoor fire pits from a quest. So you know how extraordinarily happy I was for that. Most of the ones I've seen are only available for like the Mead Hall housing hooks. I haven't been able to find any other indoor ones, so I was actually really excited about getting these two. So that was pretty much my week. Pine Leaf, how was yours?
Or this week, I went back to Bull Roar, where I was testing some missions with Sans to see how missions operated when you are playing with 2 players, and it looks like that it's just a 1-player instance with 2 people in there. In other words, there aren't any adjustments done for 2 players. So most likely the 2-player mode is either A, because you want to bring a friend along when you do it, or B, because you're having trouble, so you want to have a friend along to help you with it.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Not too many mobs to pull, though, in the ones that we tried.
Yeah, she did try to see how many mobs she could pull, especially since she was testing out her Guardian at the... Now, was this before or after you got the tips with the Guardian?
It was after some of the tips.
After some of the tips, all right. So we had fun going through there, especially considering that I was on a Warden and she was on a Guardian. So she could say, now, can you keep a Warden from grabbing the aggro off of you?
Much easier than a Hunter and Runekeeper who managed to get their hands on tier 3 raid gear from the Isengard Tavern.
Well, there is that little problem. On Honor, my Warden participated in some story tales where we defended Helm's Deep. So that means I finished up the story of Helm's Deep. Yay! And in fact, I went then from there to Isengard, where I rescued an old friend from the clutches of someone who at the beginning was unmerciful, shall we say. Then on Friday Night Fights, we headed into the Steel Keep, where a good number of us apparently had not finished this instance in the 6-player mode before, because when we all finished it up, we're seeing the banner saying, deed completed, tier 1, Secundo. So it's
Nice.
So apparently, the reason why I didn't remember ever doing it before and completing it in the 6-player version is because I hadn't.
Oops.
Yeah. But we all had some fun in there, and of course, a good number of deaths because it's a really nasty instance. And I think
Yeah,
we
not
were
fun.
Yeah, and I think we were playing that a couple of levels below us. I think we were all 130, and I think we ran the instance about somewhere in the mid 120s. Don't know the exact level. But we eventually finished it up and saw the end of that. And that's it for my week in LOTRO. We currently have 14 supporters on Patreon, and if you'd like to join this illustrious rate of players and help support LOTRO players, you can go to the donations page. We can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money would be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. If you would like to support us without joining Patreon, you could send a message to Drac at LOTROplayers.com. We did not receive any emails this week. If you'd like to send one, you can send it to podcast at LOTROplayers.com. You can also contact us at Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, LOTRO Players at LOTRO Players, Arendis at Arendis, Panipit at Panipneedles, Senswinda at Senswinda, Terry Edwin at Terry Edwin, Guarendis at Guarendis, and Calabathian at Calabathian. The Players Alliance has 3 shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. And if you'd like to follow when XP Quest comes online, you could follow them at XP Quest on Twitter. Just note, though, that XP Quest is not finally friendly. You can search for our shows at luchplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And this is Panic Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.